Dan, let's go.
Good evening there, and welcome to a special Elite FPL podcast previewing double game week 34. And as you can see, we are joined by none other than Capkin Gaming. So good evening to you all, chaps. How are you?
Good
evening. Good evening. More importantly,
Hello.
good evening, Capkin.
Hello. Thank you for the invite.
Pleasure to have you,
Thank you.
man.
If you're in the live chat, please obviously do say hello. Let us know how your wildcard selections have gone so far. We're going to be discussing our own wildcard selections, of course, and we're also going to be talking about our mini league rivals, and I've got quite a few of them, and I hope they've screwed up their teams. But yeah, we're going to talk about all our mini league rivals within our cash mini league that we take really seriously, and also our elite FPL mini league that many of you are in. And yeah, so we're pretty much just going to get started off, obviously waiting for the game to update. But just before we get into it, Capkin Gaming, how are you feeling about this double game week?
Yeah, I'm actually really happy. I've been changing my team around like 1,000 times, right, before the deadline. And I basically just went with 2 Brighton players. I was thinking about 3, and I was thinking, what can I do to kind of maintain my rank as well, in that kind of sense. And I was just looking into like not just this game week and not just for game week 35, but onwards. So yeah, it's been difficult, but I think I've done all right. I survived. Definitely.
I
do. You know the feeling. I think 10. I said before we went on air, I said change. I think it's more than 10. It's been just crazy. I went to go for a swim at the Leisure Centre before this. I put all my stuff in the locker, and I had captained a certain player, and I went, no, hold on, I'm going to change that. Just got back in the locker, changed it again, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. So yeah, I think there's been a lot of anticipation ahead of this game week. Jason, who have we got in the chat? Regulars have we got?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of the regulars in chat. I'll just name a few. We've got Vince Chapman in chat. He's the first in chat. We've got Nick Reed. We've got Leslie Chow. We've got Dalvin Vass returning back as well. We've got Capkin Gaming on screen and in chat at the same time. Mick Lee, Matthew Berry, welcome to the stream, Matthew. Adnan Adil in chat. VAR. I'm going to call you VAR from now on. G Wiz is in chat. Mahmoud Hegazi's in chat. We've got Lloyd AJ, Ray Joyce. So a lot of the regulars and possibly some new viewers that have come over to obviously see Capkin. Excited to see how his team does this game week as well. I know that he's gone with an interesting captain choice. Well, according to the chat, there's quite a few people that have actually gone with your sort of choice of Capkin. It's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Duffy Captain. So it seems to be a popular choice between the viewers at the moment, and maybe we'll see quite a few people in our mini leagues doing it as well. What do you think of the Duffy pick? Dan, Steve-O.
I think the expression is YOLO, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
At this time of the season, I take my hat off to you. Fair play, it's brave, but it could really pay. With those fixtures coming ahead and his threat from set pieces, it really could pay off. And Bournemouth's defence is just not been great on the road this season. So yeah, there's sound logic to it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys in chat, you can help us out. As soon as the game updates, please let us know, because I will try to refresh as much as I can. But normally you guys are really quick at letting us know when there's a goal being scored or an assist or something like that. You guys are generally pretty hot. So let us know, please, if the game updates. Any minute now it should be. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see your team, Steve-O, Dan's team. I finally figured out my team on literally 4 minutes before the deadline, and I've gone really top heavy, really top heavy. I'm not going to say any more, but yeah, I've I've been struggling to come up with an 11, well, a 15 that I'm happy with, because there's so many different combinations, isn't there, guys? There really is so many different. But I do think there's going to be about 6 or 7 players in majority of teams that are going to be constant. It's just where the differentials lie. And obviously the captain pick, I think Son is going to be overwhelmingly the most popular captain pick this game week for the majority. But yeah, again in chat, Duffy captain. I mean, Capkin, it must be, you must be either onto something there, because it seems that a lot of people are following your example with that pick.
The thing is with Duff. Well, the thing. Now I'll put a poll up about who we should captain. I said, now one of my biggest captain choice was Song or maybe like a Brighton player, so Duffy. And it's just with Song, I start having doubts. I'll start to think about the rotation with Song. So I was thinking, with Duffy, if he plays both games, he will get 4 points. If you double that out, it's 8. 1 clean sheet is pretty much enough, and yeah, I'll be happy with that anyway. So yeah, I thought I'll go with Duffy. A lot of the kind of the community that we got around here is pretty much going with Duffy, and why not? Why don't we just enjoy FPL a little bit?
Some people
take a risk in life, and that's it.
Yeah, some people even, dare I say it, triple captained Duffy. But while I was on Final Fantasy Scout website during the last hour, and I must have seen about 5 or 6 people that are triple captained or claimed to have triple captained. Whether or not they actually go ahead and do it is another thing. But yeah, that to me is proper YOLO. But yeah, so does anyone else want to talk about? I mean, we don't want to talk about our teams. That's the whole thing.
Before we continue chatting, let's just tell our viewers. Let's be honest with the viewers what this podcast originally was going to be. It was going to be the 3 of us, because we know you guys in our community. You are really invested in not just mine and Jason's rivalry, but actually kind of trying to help Dan get into that top 4 cash box. And the whole idea of this podcast was to react live to what on earth has happened without any of us knowing what's going on. So the game will probably be updating. Well, we thought it would be about 7:30, 7:45, something like that. But then out of the blue, this young man here, Capkin Gaming, said, "I'll be more than happy to join your podcast." We cannot turn that down. And it's going to sound really patronising, Capkin, because I'm sure everybody knows who you are. But the people that don't know who you are, tell us about your channel, why you started it, and just take it from there, mate.
Well, I'm a hardcore gamer. Love playing video games, and about 3 years ago, my friends introduced me to this game, fantasy football. Start playing it, and I was just horrible. I was just absolutely crap at the game. I didn't know what I was doing. I was bringing in players like Michael Carrick because he had the ball a lot, and I thought if he passes a lot, maybe you can get some points. That's the kind of no one told me about the rules, so that's the kind of the idea that I had. So yeah, I started playing it. I started getting I started loving the game. I started enjoying football more, and I just thought to myself, I'm making these video games. That's fine. I enjoy it. I enjoy playing this as well. Why don't I why don't I just post a video out there, even though if I didn't have those ranks that everyone's looking for? I just thought, what, let me start creating this community where it didn't matter what kind of rank that you had, it didn't matter who you were and stuff like that. I just basically wanted to kind of share my thoughts with the community so I could learn and maybe someone else will learn. And it just kind of started from there, just kept on doing it. I had some really bad rank kind of results. But if you enjoy something, you just got to keep going. You got to keep going, man. Like last year I did it, the year before I did it as well. People said, why are you streaming? Why are you making these videos? You know, well, I don't even get. I wasn't even getting proper paid. I'm not even getting proper paid now. You know, but I do it because I absolutely enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I would not spend one time like nothing with this. So I kept on doing it, and this whole year and a half, it kind of blew out. I think it's because I just been consistent. That's one of the main things that you need to think about, being consistent. If you can bring a video out every single week, maybe 2, maybe 3, and just being respectful and just being just a genuine guy, I guess. Just be someone that is there to learn and get better. It works. Bring all the players.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
and look at it now.
Yeah, doing really well, man.
Me and Dan talk a lot privately about what we love about podcasts is when it becomes kind of real and our real emotions come out. And what I enjoy about your videos, and there was a video, I can't specifically remember when it was, but you really spoke from the heart, and you basically just said, look, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but look, I'm just a normal bloke that just enjoys talking about fantasy football, and if you want to enjoy the journey with me, then come along with the ride. We have a regular viewer, Brett Mollison, that we just quote all the time now, joining us on the emotional roller coaster. And I think the reason why you're so successful is because you just come across as just a normal guy that just shows his love for the game and how well he's doing, and when he doesn't do well, you know, your emotions come out through that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Sorry, I just wanted to say, like, you got to show that, because if you really think about it, right? Why do you watch FPL videos? Like, I watch FPL videos not to, I don't know what it is. Like, I do my own research, but I don't watch it to learn, I guess. I don't, because I know what the players did, because I already make my own research. But it's like a counseling, or it's something that I enjoy to just chill and just, it's like a comfort zone in a weird way. And these kind of long videos is for me more better for me, because I could just sit here, chill. Like, if I'm watching your podcast, I could just play my game and hear you guys at the back, and that it's like a comfort thing.
I think, I can completely agree with you. I just want to say that whilst we're on that subject, I really want to say that, like, people's opinions on players, like, because people have different opinions on different players and the way they play the game. And sometimes I've watched your podcast, for example. I've watched Stevo's podcast. I've watched Let's Talk FPL, and it's interesting to see each individual opinion on players and how they see that player. You're not necessarily talking about stats, but they're talking about their their own opinions and the eye test. I think that's a really good. It's a good thing to do, because like you said, you're not going to have all the answers to yourself. I mean, you can go away and do some research, and you can play around with some teams or formats before game weeks. But listening to other people's opinions is important. But making your own decisions is also important too.
Guys, I don't want to interject, but the game has updated, and I'm on the mini league. So do you mind if we just do it, Jason?
Do it. Okay, right. Yeah. Do you want to start?
Can we have a look at your team first, mate?
Okay, let's do it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. This is my team.
Let me know when you put it up on the screen.
I've got it up on the screen.
Right, I'm going to look now. Right, watch my reaction. Well, I say watch my reaction. Here we go, and
there's nothing there.
Oh my God.
Got no games.
There's no games for any of my team. There's no games for any of my players.
There's no games, but so Dan. So just to let everybody know, Dan can't see what's on screen, unfortunately. But I'm going to tell him my reaction, and I want to see his reaction, which is, Dan, Jason has captained Jamie Vardy.
Wow.
What do you think of that?
Vardy's on fire at the moment, to cue the song, and Newcastle away. And no, I mean, my reaction is kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. And, but yeah, I'm still surprised.
Okay, well, let's break this down, Jason. So I'll just quickly for anybody who listens to this on audio, I'll mention the teams out loud. So obviously Dan, and then I want you to talk about it for yourself. So Jason has gone with triple Brighton defence in Ryan, Duncan, Duffy. He's got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Bennett, and Valerie. In his midfield, it's Sterling, Eriksson, Son, Mane, and your friend Ward-Prowse. Oh yeah, his other goalkeeper is Ben Foster. And then he's got Aguero, Jimenez, and Vardy as captain. Jason, take it away. First of all, why Jamie Vardy?
Jamie Vardy is playing in an all-firing Leicester team at the moment. They're at home to Newcastle, and this game week I can see him doing well. Newcastle have been capitulating lately to other teams. Have been conceding goals left, right, and centre. With Tielemans behind him, Maddison, he's got great support from Pereira. I can see him being on the end of balls. I can see him getting slipped in behind the defence. I just don't think they're going to be able to contain him. My gut feeling was I wanted to go with a captain that is going to be a differential, because I don't think a lot of people are going to be picking Vardy, because obviously his fixtures after this game week are pretty bad. And I know, and I'll get to that in a minute, because I have got a plan with him. I think Son will be overwhelmingly the popular pick at home to Huddersfield, but as I said, I do feel that Vardy will score big, and I'm hoping he will outscore Son, because if not, then it could all go wrong. But yeah, that's my thinking behind it anyway. So yeah, what else do you want to know?
Well, I mean, take us through.
Yeah,
your
okay, yeah.
Triple Brighton defence.
Yeah, triple Brighton. It's a bit of a risk. You could say it's a bit too much, really, considering the next game week's fixtures. But I'm gonna probably have to get rid of one of those three in game week 35. Not ideal, obviously. After a wild card, you shouldn't set up a wild card with players that you're planning to take out the game week after. But I've done a few calculated risks this season. They seem to have paid off. So I'm not adverse to taking a few hits. I'm doing -4 next week probably. Take out one of Dunk or Duffy, probably Dunk, and bring in Lacazette for Vardy. I'm going to just give away my plan. So there we go. Going to bring in an Arsenal attacker, even though I don't want Arsenal to finish in the top 4 this season. And the midfield speaks for itself. Let's be honest. Sterling, Eriksson, Son, Mane. I think majority of people are going to have most of those players in their team. The bench, Ward-Prowse and Valerie. I think they're going to be fairly high popular players for the upcoming weeks. Bennett's a bit of a risk, but I do feel that I didn't have much of a choice because of funds. So yeah, there we go.
What are your Captain? I'm assuming you've got Jason's team up on screen. What are your immediate thoughts looking at, well, especially Jason's Vardy punt, so to speak?
Vardy. I think Vardy's a good choice. I mean, I don't think there was I think there was just Song, and I can't see any real proper captain choice for this game week. Vardy and players like Sigurdsson, I think they got a good fixture. I think Vardy's good. It's just the problem is it's on a Friday. I absolutely hate captaining or having a player on a Friday, because I'll play this game in a weird way. If they don't do well,
your game week's over.
my whole life is over. That's how I feel. It's just how I play, I guess. I mean, but if Vardy gets even an assist or anything really, I think you're just gonna have a really good weekend, definitely.
Let's hope.
Jason, were there any players which, I mean, Capkin said it before we went on air, Dan mentioned it just a minute ago. Were there any players in your team which you were literally back and forth with?
Yeah. So Troy Deeney, Laporte, Robertson, Trippier, Lloris, Decore. To name a few. I've been backwards and forwards. Whether to not have Mane in this week and maybe get him in later on, but I wanted him there for the Cardiff game. So yeah, I've done an interesting move with Vardy. Obviously, going to have to remove well, I don't have to remove him, but I'm gonna make plans to remove Vardy and one of the Brighton. But I did obviously make a choice of having 2 Liverpool who don't have a double game week, purely because I wanted to plan for the future as well. So I've half planned for the future, but then also kind of got rotation in mind in terms of transfers. So yeah, I'm hoping that I've balanced it out a little bit with that. But yeah, we'll talk about differentials, but we'll get to Capkin's team shortly. But there's someone in Capkin's game, which in Capkin's team up front, where if he hasn't changed it, I don't know if he's changed it, but it's just even more of an interesting pick. But I don't think he's captained him though. But Steve, should we go on to your team?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look at my team.
I have no idea who you've gone with, captain. So give me let me just load it up now.
Oh, I might have. I'll watch his videos.
Oh.
I think he went for Firmino. Yes, Firmino.
No, he's gone with a Duffy captaincy. Everybody's loving this Duffy. Everyone's loving Duffy at the moment, and this. Oh my God! From the looks of things, if Duffy scores well, then God, we're all going to be dropping ranks. Whoever didn't captain him, jeez. But yeah, wow. Firmino, Aguero, Jimenez. He's got the same midfield: Mane, Eriksen, Sterling, Son, with Laporte, the double game week hero Laporte, Valerie. Oh, I've benched Valerie, but he's playing Valerie. He's got Bennett. He's stuck with Hudson-Odoi for some bizarre reason. Probably fun related, maybe. Oh, see, you got faith in. He's a good player, I'll give you that, but he's not guaranteed minutes. Bednarek. So you doubled up on Southampton defence with Bednarek and Valerie. I can see that. Gunn as okay.
Oh, that's 3, isn't it?
Yes, tripled up on Southampton. Yeah. So what's your thoughts of? So I did Brighton, you've done Southampton. Obviously, bit better, I would say Southampton. But yeah, what made you go with the triple up of Gunn, Bednarek, and Valerie, Steve-O?
Well, as I mentioned in my podcast yesterday, and I keep meaning to say, I can't thank everybody enough that's watched that, because that is another one that's just exploded, and thank you for the support that you've shown me for these solo wildcard videos. But to the point, I made this point to, and I forget the person, I think it's Vincent, that was right. Someone called Vincent in the comment section was backing me up, because somebody, I think he was called Seb Fox, but had a problem with the fact that I tripled up on Southampton. And I actually made a point in the video that they're so cheap, and their form as of late is actually pretty good versus the so-called bottom 6 teams and mid 6 teams as well. It's like Capkin was talking about. I look at players as to what they've either done this season, or I look at the history as to what these teams have done this season. And over the past, I think it was 5 or 6 game weeks, Southampton have played 2 bottom 6 teams and have kept 2 clean sheets. And I'm thinking, they've been playing really well as of late. Dan will be able to go into this a bit more detail. They've played really well as of late. They've kept 2 clean sheets versus bottom 6 teams. And their next 2 fixtures in double game week 35, Newcastle away, that ain't such a bad fixture. And Watford away, who I personally think, Dan, you'll be able to clarify this for me. Am I right in saying that quite a lot of teams that end up in the final of the FA Cup, i.e. Wigan, for example, they seem to take the foot off the gas once they've clarified or confirmed themselves in the final because they don't want to get injured? Would I be right in saying that?
There's two ways of looking at it. You can think about the confidence boost that's going to, they've got in the final and the form will take them on, or you can look at it that they're thinking in the back of their head, hold on, I've got an FA Cup final. It's potentially a once in a career opportunity. I don't want to get injured. And we're doing pretty well in the league already. So it's difficult. But I personally, and I'll get onto this later on, I think that Watford will be in quite good form, hopefully. So not too sure about that one, but yeah.
Okay.
So I literally, as I was coming home from work just now, I honestly was like, I had my team as it was of yesterday. And in some ways, it's like Capkin said, I just wish I'd just left it. Because my original team was, instead of Aguero, I had Lacazette. And instead of Hudson-Odoi, I had Jota. But I wasn't going to be playing Jota. So I went into panic mode. And I kind of went on a live stream that was doing FPL. And I went on Fantasy Football Scout. And I was like, everybody's got Aguero. And what have I been saying for the past two flaming podcasts with you guys? Aguero's form versus these top teams is phenomenal. And he ain't gonna not start.
He's got even more reasons to start now. I mean, this title race is still undecided. So Pep, I can't see Pep limiting Aguero's minutes. Jesus, you can't rely on Jesus.
And not even that. So, what would you like? You're gonna have? Would you have Sergio or Lacazette throughout the whole throughout the whole game weeks that we have left?
Exactly.
Think about it.
Yeah. I mean, Aguero is just a different class.
Every time he's been in my team, he's done well.
Yeah.
When he was injured, that's when I went downhill a little bit.
Yeah.
When I had him in the beginning of the season, he was just give it to Aguero, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's a set and forget almost.
Yeah, and so I was kind of like, I've got to play Aguero because knowing me, if I didn't have him and he went and scored, let's just say 3 goals in the next 3 matches, and Lacazette only scored 1 goal or whatever, and considering Arsenal's away form is just so hit and miss, I just thought I'll stick with safety. I'll just quickly finish on the Duffy captaincy. I just made a calculated risk of the fact that the most I see Son doing is a goal and an assist versus Huddersfield. And Duffy, I honestly think, based on statistics of Brighton at home versus these poor teams and the likelihood of them keeping a clean sheet, I thought, why not go for it?
I think it's going to be hilarious.
Say that again, Capkin.
I think Brighton's just gonna concede both of them games, and we're just gonna laugh so hard.
Well, somebody in chat,
we're gonna enjoy it together.
Somebody in chat said, "What? Imagine a Duffy red card." Mick Lee in chat said, "Imagine a Duffy red card. 15 minutes into the game, gets sent off, ruins the hopes of thousands."
All these naysayers that come out with these like jokey kind of. I mean, I heard some people saying that. And they're being serious, like, he's going to score 3 own goals. And the likelihood of Duffy scoring 3 own goals, or even, there's more chance of him doing what he's been doing all season, which is add to his 6 goals and add to his clean sheets at home than there is of any of those scenarios happening, because there's more of a higher potential.
Yeah, I think there's more chance of a flying saucer landing on the centre circle than Duffy scoring 3 own goals this game week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have scored one.
I think we'll go on to Dan's team.
Yeah, go on to Dan's team. Absolutely.
That I want to look at and be like, right, did he go with calculated differentials? I'm going to click on it now. Here we go. And the answer is...
He didn't go with calculated. He's got one player that I don't own and you don't own.
Yes, in Troy Deeney.
Yeah.
Right then, Dan. This is just Jason's team. Have you two been conspiring over WhatsApp?
It's like it's my team with Deeney.
WhatsApp.
That's a good team. That's a good team.
Anyway, so obviously, premium heavy hitting midfield, felt pretty comfortable with that. I've gone with Ward-Prowse. I've been going on about him in the podcast. He's on set pieces for Southampton, so got him in. I did have Llorente in my previous draft, and I was going to go with Llorente. I was like, let's go for it. And I was like, might play Dele Alli further up. Is he going to... He scored an own goal the last time he got in for Kane. He did okay, but didn't do amazing. I was just like, Troy Deeney, after helping Watford into the FA Cup final, up against Arsenal's weak in defence. Watford's fixtures in the double game week 35 they're really good. So I just went for that one, really. I think the rest of my team is pretty template, to be fair, but you're not going to leave out Mane. Eriksen, on set pieces, fixtures are decent as well. Son is just looking really sharp at the moment, and he's basically got to step up now that Kane's obviously injured, and that was a big factor in that move. And then, my defence is pretty budget. I've got Trent Alexander-Arnold in there. He's served me really well. I mean, Capkin was talking about players that serve you well. Obviously, Aguero, Alexander-Arnold has served me well this season, so I've kept him in just because of that game against Cardiff. It's such a good game to keep him in. At one point, I did have my mate Deulofeu in, and I'm just hoping that Deulofeu does not come back to haunt me, because obviously the last time he went crazy and got that hat-trick was the day that I took him out, and I'll never forget that day, and that's when FPL really gets you down. But like I say, I'm pretty happy with the team. I've chopped and changed it quite a lot. I don't really, be interesting to hear what you guys think.
Well,
what about the Son captaincy?
Yeah.
That was when I went to the swimming pool, and I was like, okay, Aguero captain, and I was like, Sterling captain. And then I saw somebody that was a Tottenham fan, and he was going on about how well Son's playing. And I was like, okay, thanks to you, I'm going to pick Son for my captain. If it doesn't work out, I'll see you soon. So I think Son, I don't know, at home to Huddersfield are relegated. Son's in great form, makes perfect sense. I'm still reading from your Duffy captain choice, Steve. I'm just, that has taken me by surprise, actually. The Vardy move for Jay didn't take me by surprise, but yeah, Duffy is just crazy. But it's the tripling up on Brighton assets I'm a little bit concerned about, because I could see them. Yeah, I've just got this horrible feeling they're going to concede in both games. But the threat from set pieces against Bournemouth is what gives me a lot of hope.
It's the fact that it's basically the fact that he's a double game week player, and that's going to bring me. You'd think if he didn't get a yellow card, he just plays the 60 minutes. And whatnot, he's going to bring me in a 2 points. So that's a minimum of 8 points minimum that I'm to expect. So really, that's the main reason why. And if he gets me that clean sheet, I'm not looking at him from an attacking perspective. It's just the clean sheets. That's all I'm interested in. You've trebled up on Brighton, so there must be a reason why you've trebled up on Brighton. Cheap
and good fixtures, really.
And if they all play, you get like an assist.
Yes, yeah. So I did say about even watching Brighton we say about the eye test, watching them against Man City last weekend. I know they lost the game, but Dunk and Duffy were really solid in that game. And if they can take that form into a home game against Bournemouth haven't really got a lot to play for as well. Brighton's home form has been really strong this season. So I think it kind of made sense in the end. I mean, and then obviously I've got Foster in there as well for double game week 35. I think that makes a lot of sense. The only thing I'm thinking now on reflection, I'm sure we've all done this all day, like chopping and changing our teams. It's like at one point I had Decore, Deulofeu in the midfield, and then I was like, no. And it was just that toss-up between having Llorente up front at 5.1 million. That would be a real gamble, I think. And then I just thought, you know what? Troy Deeney's in form. Good fixtures, just go for that. Ward-Prowse, I've been banging on about him for weeks now. Just get him in, 5.1, cheap player. The rest of the team, I was never going to not pick Mane. I was never not going to pick Son. Eriksen, makes sense. So, very happy. Let's see what happens. But it's all on Son. It's all on Tottenham players, which is a bit weird.
So far, mine, Jason, and Dan's team are virtually the same. Let's go to Capin's, I think, Jason. Capkin Gaming's team, and you've been banging on about some potential risk. He's 20th in our elite FPL mini league. Let's have a quick click on it, and let's see if it's the same as our three teams.
Wow. Yeah.
Hey, he's gone with hey. Oh.
Big differential in Capkin's team.
Oh yes.
There's quite a few. Fantastic.
And this is the whole point. When you're willing to take a risk, it can really pay off. And I think Lukaku, I said it last week. I think that there's a lot of people that are just not even considering Man United at the moment. I think beware, because I think he can easily do well in the fixtures coming up for United. And Capkin, I know you didn't give him the armband, but I wouldn't be surprised if he returns a goal or two for you.
Yeah.
So do you want to reveal, if people are listening to this on audio, Captain, what your team is, and especially for Dan's benefit, what your team is and your decisions behind? And you went with captaining Duffy, my friend. So yeah, go for it, Captain.
I got a whole new formation that is not many managers are using. In a weird way, I absolutely love this 4-3-3 formation for some reason. I think having 4 defenders, they're not. It's not like they're not. I guess it's more easier to defend than score. That's kind of the strategy that I'm going with. And I went with, so basically I've got Lloris in goal. He's going to be my main goalkeeper. And it's not just for the double game week, he's going to be my main goalkeeper for 36, 37, 38 towards the end of the season. Trent, just cheap option. I had Van Dijk, and Van Dijk has served me really well. And I was looking into, I was like, I need some money somewhere. I need to squeeze out a little bit more just to upgrade a few players, like from Bennett to Bolly. So I downgraded Van Dijk, which was not the best move in the world, but if Trent plays, then he's got a really high chance to get some assists. So there's a little bit of a rotation risk with him, but it's fine. Duffy and Dunk, basically, I'm just having a little fun with it. I think even with 4 points, if they're both, like, if Duffy plays, Duffy's my captain. If he plays both of the games, he's going to give me 4 points, so that's 8 points. And I'm fine with that, I guess. If he can keep 1 clean sheet, that's all that matters. 1 clean sheet, that's a lot of points for a defender. If 1 clean sheet happens, think about the next game. Think about how excited you will be about watching that game against Cardiff. So I wanted to basically right now, when I make these teams, I want to enjoy it. I want to get that buzz. Laporte is yes, there's a rotation risk with him because Company and Stones were on the bench in the Champions League game. Mane. I love to have Firmino in my team. I had him in my Gameweek 33 team, which I got 96 points, and he definitely helped me out. Yeah, 96 points for Gameweek. It meant to be a blank Gameweek. 96 was incredible. Ericsson and Song against Huddersfield, and I'm not really looking into the double game week. I'm looking into after that. What will happen after that? How my team will actually will look, and it looks like him against West Ham. So if I have 3 against West Ham and I got 3 against Huddersfield, I'm pretty much in a good kind of state there. So that's the mentality there. You have to look ahead as well. You can't just look at double game. Or even now, because I got Laporte problems, I got Song problem. That's what I feel about this game, but it's good for the long run. Jimenez, people hated me the fact that I didn't have Jimenez. I had Dini. I absolutely think Dini could do really well against Arsenal. He bullies the hell out of them. So I got Jimenez just because he's high owned. He's like a template. Sergio, because I can always rely on him, and now he's fit. So fit Sergio Aguero is pretty much the one that you want to go with. And Lukaku. I could have went with Rashford. And I just thought to myself, maybe Rashford is the one that they might want to rest because he's more important than any other player in that team right now. And Lukaku is just a lump that is up there. He probably will play for hours and days. He doesn't need to run around like Rashford. And he probably will be a player that will play more minutes than Rashford. I could have went for Rashford and upgraded someone else, but then I just thought I can't get Sterling with that money. Then what's the point? And plus, with Lukaku, I can remove him and get Firmino in game week 36 for that Huddersfield game. And just quickly for my subs, I've got the Southampton goalkeeper, Gunn. I've got Ward-Prowse, just someone that is an attacking player that is really good in free kicks. Deulofeu, I think he could do well. It looks like he is fit, maybe not for this week, but definitely for the double game week, I hope. And I just upgraded Bennett to Bolly just to get a little bit of a strong defender there than Bennett. That is it.
What are your thoughts on that, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I can see the logic in everything he's done. I mean, it's pretty... I mean, he's played it safe because he's got the big hitters in midfield that a lot of people, if not everybody's going to have, especially in the top 10k. He's covered, obviously, got Jimenez, high-owned Jimenez and Aguero. Yeah, I mean, the logic in having Duffy captain, I can definitely see it. He just... he's nailed for the 2 games. He's gonna feature all the games, you would hope, and obviously Dunk as well, doubling up with Lloris in goal. I like I said, I had Lloris in and out of my Wildcard all over the last couple of days. So yeah, I like your team. It's balanced. It's balanced. It's not. There's not
much of a risk, except for Lukaku.
Yeah, you've done a risk on Lukaku, but you haven't done it to the point where you're dissecting other areas of your team to be able to take a risk. So you've kept a strong team whilst playing a differential, which is really good. Especially as you're just outside the top 10k. If he scores big, then if the moons and stars align for you, then you could be climbing 2, 3, 4, 5,000 places. But yeah, I think it's good. I think a lot of people in chat and your subs will also love the Lukaku move, and be also kicking themselves to not even looking at United. Myself, I mean, sorry.
I was going to say, Jason, What are people in chat saying? Let's have a chat. Well, let's have a chat with them, so to speak.
Yeah, so they've been chatting away. So apparently, my house must be freezing cold because I got a hoodie on and my hat. Well, I always wear a hat. That's just my image. But I'm actually I've literally just come home from work, so I'm in my work top. So I thought I'd throw on a hoodie. That's the reason why I wear the hoodie. So that's the reason I'm wearing a hoodie, and I'm really regretting it because I am quite hot at the moment. So we got Mickey saying I'm loving my Sterling captain differential. Wow. So yeah, going
nice.
Yeah, I mean there is obviously worry about Sterling's minutes, but definitely I think he's got explosive. Well, everyone knows he's got an explosive potential. So yeah, that's a very much a differential captain choice. So Brett Mollison's used his triple captain chip. Who have you triple captain, Brett? Let us know. I'll try to read.
I'll try and find him, James.
Yeah. Okay, I would have got Deulofeu in if I knew that stat, Dan. Well, there you go. I mean, Capkin's gone with Deulofeu. It is a like you said, this game week he may not feature the majority, if not in all the game, but certainly you would imagine by time game week 35 comes along, he'll be in that Watford team. Can't see Mane doing anything for a while. Really, Vince? Really? Against Chelsea and then at Cardiff?
Wasn't his birthday? Wasn't it Mane's birthday?
Jason.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Right. We'll do a quick vote here between the four of us. Well, between you three. So Brett Mollison has said he's used his triple captain chip. Right. I'll give you the players that you've got. So it's one of his attacking players. Okay. Which of these 7 players did Brett Mollison triple captain? Was it Sterling, Telemans, Ericsson, Decore, Son, Deeney, or Vardy?
Deeney.
Vardy.
You've gone Vardy. No, he went with Ericsson.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know, Brett? What do you know that we don't, mate?
Yeah.
Wow.
Captain, what do you think on that choice there, Captain, on Ericsson triple captain?
Yeah, definitely. If he plays, he should play. He should play.
Royal play.
Like he should. I reckon if one of them, if one of them gets benched, then it will probably be Song. But yeah, I think.
I've just.
But Eriksen should do well. Eriksen should do well no matter what.
He better do well, Captain, because Brett's taken a -24. That's like,
wow.
Well, that brilliantly. Actually, do you know what, Jason? What shall we do? Shall we go to our Elite FPL rivals, or shall we go to our Torbay Cash? I reckon Elite FPL. I want to see John Harris.
Right, okay. Let's see John Harris's team. Let's see what John Harris has done with his.
For people that don't know, John Harris is 37th overall rank. He did not have a wild card.
Wow.
And Jason sat back and he's gone with Captain. Oh, no way! What? He's gone with Vardy, Captain.
Wow.
Wow.
He's got 3 Vardy. Oh yeah, because it continues from yeah.
So John Harris has gone with a -4. Let's just quickly look at the transfers that he brought in. Wow, he's captain Jamie Vardy tonight. He got rid of David Luiz and David Brooks and brought in Son and Duffy. He only has he only has 2 double game week players in Ryan and Duffy. Moving forward, he's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double game week players for 35. So John, being so high in the ranks at 37, gone with Vardy captain. Jason, as a fellow Vardy captain, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm actually relieved because everything John's been doing lately has turned to gold dust. So, if this works out for him, it's going to work out for me. So, the only frustrating thing is he's obviously he's ahead of me in the Elite FPL. So my captain points won't mean anything. So, but I have wildcarded. He hasn't. So I'm hoping that my decision to do that, which was obviously always going to happen, is going to play out better for me in the long term, especially for Game Week 35, where he's only fielding 5 at the moment. He'd probably have to take more hits to field a respectable amount. I like his Lacazette pick, though.
Can I ask you a question, Captain? What do you think of when we set up our mini league? We just set it up for the sake of this YouTube channel. It was nothing of seriousness. And then the more we progress through the season, we're just getting these freaks of nature coming out from nowhere with these extraordinary ranks. And John Harris, this is literally his first season, and at the moment he's 37th in the overall rankings. But what do you make of this mini league at the moment, mate?
Kick him out. No, joking. Mini league is good. I haven't really concentrated on my one that much. I have quite a lot of people on my one. I think from next year I'm going to be definitely going through it and just going through it a lot, like seeing who's the top. The guy who's on the top right now, Fala, is just doing incredible. He's like ranked 2 in the world. I even speak to him on Twitter and stuff. He's I just spoke to him like today about my wild card and stuff like that, just to get additional help from other people, because it's very important. This wild card for me is very important, and it's good. It brings the community. You get people to join. You work with the community. There's like challenge for them to actually be better than you.
Yes.
And to show off and be like, hey, look at me, I'm beating Jason, I'm doing this. Hey, Steve-O, Dan. It's good. It gives people a motivation to play the game and just enjoy it. So definitely, mini leagues, do it. I absolutely enjoy it. This is why I watch this stream, because I enjoy the mini league kind of rant. I like it. You go through people's teams. I think as long as they're happy with their teams getting shown, I guess it's fine, right?
Well, I'm just looking at.
If you're in that top half, then why not be shown?
Yeah.
So it's good.
I'm just looking at this Falar's team, and he's captain Eriksen. He's done a wild card, and he's as Captain has just said, he's 2nd overall in the world. I just can't get my head around that. So
he said that I inspire him as well. So I'm happily like I'm blessed. I'm cool. I'm happy that I know him.
Brilliant. And I'm sure you'd get him on your channel and interview him and talk through if he came second in the overall world. There's opportunities to speak to these people. It's just absurd.
It's good, but I think what's going to happen next season is I need to be careful with that, because what's going to happen next season, there's going to be new fresh blood in the streets. You know, one person in the first week gonna get number one and be like, oh, I'm the best. No. As long as that person can show like consistency and with videos and with like determination and dedication, then I will, invest in that person. You have to be careful with it. I learned quite a lot going through this kind of YouTube stage. It's like, yeah, the potential is there to get what you can and get views and stuff like that. But think about next season, what's going to happen. There's going to be new people challenging for you. There's going to be new podcasts around. They're going to challenge for your podcast and stuff like that. I don't know. It's really up to you. For me, him, yes, definitely. I would probably one day like him on, definitely. But I think if it was just some random guy, I might not.
No, that's true. No, I agree. Well, I'll just quickly brief over for anybody that doesn't know this second in the world's team. So he's gone with a wild card. He went with Lloris and Foster as his goalkeepers. Dunk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Laporte, Valerie and Bennett. So quite a couple of top-heavy hitting defenders there. A midfield, this is great, 4 of Salah. There we are, Salah in there. Ericsson as his captain. Son and Sterling and Delafeu, Dan going on about him there. And his front 3 of Deeney, Rashford and Jimenez.
Wow.
So,
who are we talking about now?
fella, second in the world.
Second in the world. Oh, right. Okay. I was like getting confused then. Okay, I'll get him up now.
I think now though, Jason, if you bring up second in the world, and then what we'll do is we'll go to the Cash Mini League that we take so seriously, and the reason why we started up this YouTube, the Cash Mini League, the Torbay Elite Mini League, and we'll go for Dan's rivals, and we start at 3rd place, Darren Monday, and let's just see what Darren has done this week. And
I can feel the tension building.
he's done one transfer. Let's just quickly see what that transfer was, and I'm assuming he brought in a double game week potentially, but he got rid of Higuain and brought in Vardy. And then the rest of his team, Dan, you'll be pleased to know he hasn't got any double game week players. So it's Patrizio, Lindelof, Bolly, David Luiz, Mane, Hazard, Pogba, Son as his captain, Jimenez, Firmino and Vardy. And so far at the moment, just to let people know if they don't know, the game at the moment that's going on is still 0-0 between Leicester and Newcastle. 23 minutes gone, still 0-0. So yeah, Dan, any quick immediate thoughts on Darren Monday's team of not having any double game weekers at all?
I feel quite happy about that. And if you watch Darren opposite, no. His front 3 is nice though, to be fair. That front 3 is very tasty. So a little bit worried about that. He's got Son as captain, so that cancels out my captaincy choice as well. But like you said, the lack of double game week players is pretty good. So
now a team that I really want to look at is Pete Andrews, because we all know Pete Andrews takes real calculated risks. He likes to gamble. He shot up to 4th from over the past several weeks. He has just been climbing. He's finally got into that top 4 like he does every single season. Let's go and see what he did with his wild card, which I assume he played. He did.
This is
more like it. This is more like it.
He's got the highest game week score, and he could get a top 4 spot. So he could have a sort of treble in our mini league. So
yeah. Well, let's go through the team and let's see your reaction, Dan. So he's gone with Ryan and Foster as his 2 goalkeepers.
Okay.
Trippier, Kolasinac, Duffy, Valerie and Bennett. So straight away, Trippier and Kolasinac, for me, stick right out like a sore thumb. He's kept, surprisingly, Pogba. He has Ericsson, Sterling, and Son as his captain. That's gone. Cancel it out. And then his other midfielder is Will Hughes of Watford. And then his front three of Firmino, Jimenez, and Vardy. So there we are. A few differentials on you there, but Son captain. Dan again.
Yeah, cancelled out, counted again. But so many people going with Vardy this game week that I just... we'll know by the end of the evening tonight how well that works.
Well, he survived 24 minutes, guys. For those who don't know him, he survived 24 minutes. So
yeah, very, very true. I'll quickly gloss over, another prime target who dropped out of the top 4. He's been in the top 4, I think, since game week 1, and has dropped out of it for the first time, and that's Ben Towler. I really want to look at his team. He's 7th, Jason.
You got him here.
And he went with Vardy captain. So Ben Towler did one transfer. He brought in, my goodness, he's made a hell of a lot of transfers. He took out Higuain and brought in Aguero. So, and his team in full is Edison in goal, Bednarak, Robertson, Alexander-Arnold and Kolasinac, David Silva, Mane, Jota, Lacazette, Vardy captain and Aguero. Now that is one hell of a differential team, don't you think?
Yeah, that's screaming out differentials. I mean, yeah, he's got Jota, Lacazette, Almiron. Snodgrass still in his team. You got Bednarak. He's got David Silva. David Silva is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. It's a lot of red. There's a lot of red in that team, isn't there? God. Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, it could pay off. I mean, it's still early days, but it could pay off. But it's a bit.
I'm just looking through these teams, Jason, and it really does highlight how keeping your chips to the end of the season really is worth. Wow! Oh my goodness! Oh, Capin's gonna love this. Right, so if you click on Terry Roos's team.
Oh no! Here we go.
So Terry Roos is one. He's a quality gambler when it comes to the horses, and when it comes to FPL, he's decent. He has one double game week player, and he's gone with. Listen to this, Capin and Dan. So Terry's gone with Glenn Murray as his captain. What did you think of Glenn Murray, actually, Capin? Was he ever in your thought process, Capin?
Just for like 10 seconds, yeah. You know what? Like, didn't Murray do well like last double? Not this year, but last year's. I don't know. I think he did
a very good season last season. Yeah,
he did well. I'm pretty sure he did well once, like in a double game week. And if he's nailed on, if he was nailed on 100%, then yeah, because he's on penalties. I even looked at bringing Knockout into my team, but
yes,
he's basically my my player that I brought in. That just absolutely did nothing. For
I remember that you showed so much faith to Knockout for like 3 or 4 weeks, didn't you?
Yeah.
He didn't do anything.
But these are the moments. Like these are the moments that we have to enjoy. I enjoyed it. I took the piss out of it, and I just thought, you know what? Nah, let's not go there no more. And yeah, Murray's great. I mean, if he plays, trust me, if he plays both games, I can see some penalties going on in that games, and that's a massive differential for sure.
Yeah.
But overall, the team, not 100% certain with that. So
I feel like these guys have, like the teams you've just mentioned, have taken the risks that I didn't maybe have the cojones to take.
Remember, Dan,
you know.
Remember, Dan, they didn't have their wild cards. You did. These have to play these players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Richarlison.
That's probably why. That's probably why it looks like. Because I wouldn't go for two Wolves defense at least.
No.
And yeah, so definitely. But
Or Richarlison.
Or Richarlison. Here's the thing though. Like if you was wildcarding, if you was planning it out, you can have Murray for this double game week, and then if you have some money left over, you can swap him to Raul Jimenez or something like that. Then that could have worked.
Yeah, I think Jason, if we just quickly go, well, actually, before we go on to a few more players in our Elite FPL mini league, what are people in chat saying? What are they thinking of? Are they feeling a bit more like, I'm in good company now. I can relax a bit about the decisions I've made.
Well, so we've got some comments about the game. So apparently Barnes has had a great run through on goal, but saved. Cameron Rawcliffe says we've got a bit of commentary going on in chat. We've got Mahmood is saying in chat, really think that Son will have just a 1-point cameo versus Huddersfield. That would be very disappointing for a lot of captainers, but could definitely happen with the congestion of fixtures coming up. Second in the world must be genius. He's captained Ericsson, says Brett Mollison, the guy that's triple captained him. So yeah, apparently, yeah. So this is a really good point actually, and I think I agree on this. Getting top 10k is getting harder to attain each year with the amount of FPL managers that are being introduced to the game, and maybe top 50 could be the new top 10. Or even the top 100k is a respectable finish. Absolutely. Would you guys think of that, Steve-O?
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to ask Capkin as our guest. What do you think on the amount of people that are just starting to play this game and everything? And actually, as Jason just mentioned, our rank thought processes actually may have to change regarding actually 50, being in the top 50 is probably the equivalent of being in the top 10 or whatever, because there's just so many teams that participate in fantasy. Whether they're ghost teams or not, it's still over 6 million people that play the game.
You know what? It kind of gets to me when I don't do well, obviously. But slowly, I'm like just learning how to just.
There's been a goal.
If I have a bad game week,
Ayoze Perez has scored for Newcastle. Leicester clean sheet has been blown out the water. So yeah, Matt Ritchie assists. So Ayoze Perez goal, 32nd minute. Wow, that was against the run of play, I believe.
That's a big goal because there's a lot of people who don't have the wildcard that's got Leicester.
Including, funny enough, Daniel Ash, who I've got up on the screen at the moment. He's got Chilwell.
What's up, Tesso?
Tesso, hi.
What I was saying is, like, with ranks and stuff like that, I think just try your best to do well, and don't be disappointed too much. You're a host. You're making these videos for a reason. I think if you can get to that top 10k, yes, then enjoy it. You done really well. It's definitely, if you go higher than that, it's the best. But I think the aim is for us YouTubers is try and get into at least top 50k, top 100k. I think it should be fine, as long as you give good. Because the thing is, 1 or 2 differentials can change the games, and you be complete like. I was 30k last game week. 1 or 2 of my differentials actually paid off, and now I'm just outside 10k, like 1,000. If I do one more differential, I'm like in the top 5,000. So it can jump a lot. I would just say, as long as you're enjoying your whole experience of doing this, it's no problem. For me, I'm happy. If I can get the top 10k, I'm going to be celebrating. If I don't, I'll be crying a little bit. But it's a long journey, and it was a fun journey. And that's what I can say.
Do you play this game for just looking at it purely for overall rank? Or do you do what the three of us do, which is we just take a mini league really, really seriously, and it's just by pure coincidence that, well, Jason especially, but me and Jason are doing really, really well as an overall rank. But we couldn't care less if we finished in like the top 1 million, so long as we have the bragging rights over who wins the league. What about yourself?
I just want to do well. That's it. As long as I do well, good enough, because you can still give good information, even if you like in the millions. It's not everyone's got opinions. They could still be valid. It's just all about picking the right player at the right time. You know, you got to be lucky as well. There's a lot of luck. Like next season, I don't know who. Like Dan could be in the top 10K. Steve, you might be in the 1 millions. I don't know. Anything can happen. So, yeah, no, I don't really look into it too much. As long as I do well, as long as I'm in that top 50 or something like that, that's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
So
as long as you do your research, I think everyone will kind of will be like following you as well, kind of your agreements. It's just all about picking the players at the end.
It's funny you bring that up, actually, because one thing that I mentioned this in our preview pod, and there's one thing that I must say, that if someone was to interview me and say, "Oh, how have you done so well this season?" I think Dan will be able to relate with this a lot. It's the fact that I don't look at stats other than quite literally what players have done and what teams do home and away. I really do not care if, take Salah as an example. He's had all these wonderful statistics regarding he's had X amount of touches in the box. Yeah. He's not scoring, whereas Mane has. So why would I take Salah over Mane? See what I mean?
For that, everyone does it differently. I think for me, I do not look at any kind of stats like in detail. It's like how many times that he took a shot, how many times he tackled, how many times he walked, how many times he swam. I literally do not care, because I watch as much as games as possible. I see the highlights, I see what I see, and that's basically my decision. And obviously, I just look at the goals, the assists, and you got to look at the overall team. Who's going for these? Who's got something to play for? Liverpool, Manchester City, Tottenham, Arsenal. But like, if you look at Arsenal, right, they're amazing at home, but they're not the best at away. Things like that. Manchester United, what's bad about them? Well, the defense, the whole core of that defense is just, it's not the best. It's not good. They will concede, but the attack up front is good. Stuff like that. That's how I get my stats, and that's how I don't really look into these details too much. I watch a lot, and I see it, and then I pick it, and luckily I'm in a good position. I just wanted to ask, has anyone got their chips left? Like, I don't know who's got what.
I've got triple bench boost left.
Nice. Okay, cool.
I've just got bench
boost.
And
I've got triple. Well, we've all got bench boost, and I've got triple captain along with Dan. But going on with what Captain was saying, Dan, obviously Captain is going with pretty much the eye test. You watch a lot of football, but this year you're just not doing so well. So if someone was interviewing, well, we'll do it now. What do you think has gone wrong with you so far this season regarding the fact that, you play the eye test basically, but within our mini league, you're not doing that great? What are your thought processes on that? The one.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for reminding me. I think.
Wait, let me tell you something, Dan. You're what, in 100,000, right? 100,000 something?
Just about, yeah.
That's there's so many. Look, trust me, Steve-O, I've seen so many FPL managers who's done amazing last season, and the year before, whatever. But right now, they're doing absolutely bad. Not like in the 100,000s, in 5, like really bad. I think it's just luck, man. For me, it's luck, but for Dan.
Yeah, I mean, there's been key decisions that I've just cocked up on. These are the two decisions. Taking out De La Feu away to Cardiff, that was like, when I got the WhatsApp message about that from Pete Smith, I was like, why are you out drinking on a Friday? As if De La Feu scored a hat-trick away to Cardiff. So that was a big thing. And then taking out Salah before the away match to Bournemouth when Liverpool won 4-0 at Bournemouth. Bournemouth were on a really good run then. And yeah, that particular weekend, I was just overthinking it, swap, change, to the point where I was actually physically like, this is making me feel ill. I'm out, not literally ill, but just like it's stressing me out, stressing my mind out. And then when I seen that Salah got a hat trick, I was just like, oh my god. So
By
I
the way,
think
Dan, if you had that points from Deulofeu, what rank would you be?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. Someone, maybe somebody. A fair, yeah. I don't know. But it would. I think that it's also a thing of confidence as well. Like if I'd still had the fail and he got all those points, it increases your motivation. It's a bit like you said about teams in the Premier League that have still got stuff to play for, like Chelsea, Man United trying to catch Arsenal and things like that. Just as an example, had to get that in there. It gives you that more motivation. So for me, it's like I lost motivation after my free hit went wrong. That double goal, I was just like, I can't be bothered. I even said to Steve, I can't be bothered with FPL. I'm not even really looking forward to doing the podcast. That's how I'll be honest with you. But then, when I didn't think about my team that much, I got quite a high score, and I was like, oh, we're back in here. So I think in a long-winded answer to your question, Steve, it's like not taking my own advice. How many times have I done that this season? Not taking my own advice, going against my gut instinct, overthinking. And to be fair, Steve, as well, like the thing about underlining statistics, that is a thing that I quite like reading these stats. Like I really, I go on popular fantasy football websites and I read about these underlying stats, Harvey Barnes being a prime example. I just quite enjoy reading them, and then maybe that comes into my thought processes quite a bit. But let's be honest. I mean, obviously, you two guys are having like your best season ever. So, and I'm like eighth in our mini league. That's how I think about it. I don't really think about the overall rank. I just think about the mini league and like getting above my friends that are in that league. So I'm not having a great season, but when Jason's flying up in the top 100 in the world, it's kind of hard to keep up. Yeah. So
here's the thing with that Harvey Barnes thing. His stats is really good, but if you watch him, if you like look at him and see like the eye test, he's like he keeps on missing. Like it's like he can't even kick or something. It's like he still needs to learn. Like when you watch him, it's just I can't. What's the word? He's just impatient. He just shoots like on sight kind of guy. So that's why his stats will go really high, stuff like that. So you got to kind of look at the stats, fine, and then look at it in the eye test as well to kind of balance them out. But there's a lot of time consuming, so your time will. And if you have lots of times, then you can do all these things, definitely.
I'm just looking here, Jason, at the Elite FPL Mini League podcast, and 4th place, Kelvin Chow, has played his wildcard. Now, the reason why I'm bringing him up is because Capkin, he's actually in your mini league, and he's actually 2nd in your mini league, but he is 102 points off, of course, the guy that's top in Falar. He has gone with one hell of a differential wildcard, I've got to say. So I'm sure Jason will be bringing this up on screen. But again, for people like Dan and anybody else that's listening to this on audio, his team is as follows. Lloris, Laporte, Dunk, Duffy, Son as his captain, Martial, Ericsson, Bernardo Silva, who I think's been ruled out. He's got Mane, Trent Alexander-Arnold on the bench, along with Valerie, and his front three of Dini, Aguero, and Vardy. Capkin, what do you think on this team regarding these punts on Martial and Bernardo Silva? I
like Martial. I think he had a good rest in that Champions League game. I think he was the only one who was on the bench. I think he came on I can't remember. I actually. 15 minutes. Yeah, so I was looking into that. I could go for that 5 midfield, get Martial, but I can't trust him to play all of the games. And I think Lukaku against West Ham, he's got a really good record, and Everton going back home, it just nailed it. I just went, no, that looks really good, and I don't even care about the Manchester City game. But Martial for next game, not Bernardo Silva. I think he might be out.
people on stream, if you've got me on Zoom at the moment, as in literally zoomed in, wondering what's Steve-O reacting to here? Jason, I highly recommend that you bring up Jack Gleason's team because this is quite extraordinary.
Gleason.
Now, the reason why I bring up Jack Gleason's team is because I keep banging on about this. He was, at the time, top in our the Elite FPL Mini League at 225th in the world. Since then, we've jinxed him. He has completely fallen. He's still doing really, really well. And this is his team. And I want to see Capkin and, well, we've just briefly seen Jason's reaction. I want to see Capkin and Dan's reaction to Jack Gleason's wildcard team. So, Leno and Kepa in goal. Robertson, Wan-Bissaka, Pereira, Schindler, and Doherty in his overall defence. Now, this is his four-man midfield playing this week.
This is a wildcard team?
This is a wildcard team, yeah. Hudson-Odoi, Salah, Maddison, and get this, James Ward-Prowse as his captain. Now, I don't know if Jack...
This can't be a wildcard team.
As his team hacked. Because he was in Sri Lanka, I believe, on holiday, and he was joining.
He messed up. He has to mess. No way.
And his front three, I'll just finish that off, is Rondon, Vardy, and Wilson. Well, I can see immediately there. I mean, he's captain Jamaica James Ward-Prowse, Dan. I mean, what? Yeah.
I haven't been this shocked since that episode of The Walking Dead the other week. Maybe he's been just drinking or.
What's his?
I can't explain it. I can't explain it. I don't know. I mean, Ward-Prowse is, he's been in good form. He's been good value for 5.1. I wouldn't have brought him in otherwise. But to have him as captain is, I don't know. I'm lost for words. I don't know how to explain it.
No,
Jason, what were you thinking? I just don't.
But there's no double game week players that much. There's no. This can't be a wildcard. Are you sure it's wildcard?
It's wildcard, all right.
Yeah, I reckon that's what I was going to say. Or he's been watching our podcast each week, and we keep mentioning the fact that he's gone down the league, and he's gone full rogue maverick, and he's like, I'm going to prove these guys wrong and do something crazy. But there's not a lot of.
He has done a wild. He did do a wild card. I'm looking at it now. He got rid of 2, 4. He got rid of 8. Yes, he has. Yeah. Yes.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Leno's a massive risk.
Yeah,
there's something wrong there, I think.
What?
Apparently, I muted myself. Sorry, guys, I muted myself in stream. So, but basically, what I said was I'm shocked his coach chose these players. It's almost like his team's been sabotaged. I'm going to try and get in touch with him, find out exactly what's happened here, because it's very abnormal team selection for a wild card. I'm sorry that I muted my mic.
I'll bring up a very regular contributor, and I just want to take this moment to say I cannot thank a player within our mini league called FPL Buna that really does support our channel a lot. He really does push our channel forward a lot, and I just want to say thank you very much. The support is very much grateful from the three of us, and that's FPL Buna. I'll quickly click on his team because again he's just ahead of me in the FPL mini league. He played his wild card. He did go with Duffy as captain, so his team in full: Ryan Dunk Duffy as captain, Robertson. He went with Valerie and Laporte. I'm surprised he benched Laporte, but you'll understand why in a second. He's gone with a 5-man midfield in Jota, Ericsson, Son, Sterling and Mane. and the front two this game week of Aguero and Jimenez. The other two bench players being Foster and Deeney. So yeah, Dan, another fluffy captain there.
Yes. Well, FPL Bruno, obviously a big Spurs fan, and kind of have that rivalry going. But surprised he's kind of not played Deeney, I guess, because I'm as an Arsenal fan, I'm worried about Monday evening away to Watford. Watford's going to be on a high in the FA Cup final. It's an evening game as well, and I can see Deeney getting points. So I was a bit surprised about that. But the rest of his team seems pretty good.
Nice. Have you guys checked your team for Gameweek 35? It looks amazing. Like all them double Gameweek players.
Yeah, that's a good point actually.
You look at
just a quick one.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the usual line of, I don't know what these people know that we don't, but we mentioned the fact that Brett Mollison triple captain Ericsson. We all laughed, but then we found out that second in the world, that's first in Capkin Gaming's mini league, is Captain Ericsson. Well, bizarrely, number one in the overall rankings has Captain Ericsson.
Ooh.
What do you, Captain? What do you think the thought process? Oh, go on, Dan. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, when I was watching a very well-known fantasy football podcast earlier on, they were talking about penalty duties. I don't know who takes penalties for Tottenham when Kane's not playing, because I know Ericsson takes penalties for Denmark, but I don't know who takes the penalties for Tottenham when Kane's not there. Is that?
I thought it was Son or Moray.
Yeah, it'd probably be some, wouldn't it? I'd have assumed, but maybe that's part of the logic behind it.
I mean, we talk about sabotaging the teams here and everything. Well, number one in the whole world has this front seven in Calvert-Lewin. Okay, this is number one in the world. Has Calvert-Lewin, Deeney, and Wilson. That's his front three. So Calvert-Lewin, Deeney, and Wilson. He has not necessarily a premium midfield, so it's Ericsson, Son, Salah, and Sigurdsson in there. I'm just assuming that because I think he's quite far ahead in the rankings. If I quickly look at where he is, so yeah, he's exactly 50 points ahead of second spot. I mean, Capin, I'm thinking, do you think that players that are so far ahead in their ranks, taking risks like captaining Ericsson, having a budget strike force, do you think they're just doing this because they're not quite bored, but it's because they can, because they've got such a large gap between?
Yeah, you're gambling more. You're going for it. Like I'm not saying gamble, but when you gamble, like when people who gambles, when they get a lot of money, they kind of gamble. They kind of go for higher risk. So it's the same situation here. He's got so much points. He's just doing something completely different that not many managers are like picking. Ericsson, I never thought of picking Ericsson. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, he's just got the time. But the thing is, he's got Wilson and Calvert-Lewin. He's got Sigurdsson. So he hasn't used his wildcard. He used his wildcard, right?
Yeah, this is his wildcard team, yeah.
So that means I think what he's trying to do is he's getting Sigurdsson, Calvert-Lewin for that Fulham game, because I looked at Sigurdsson as well. And against Fulham, I think they're going to concede, so there can be a lot of goals there. And he might actually remove them later on and get someone in that has a double game week. I think that's kind of the plan that it looks like he's going with. How much does he have money in the bank?
Let's have a quick look, shall we? So the answer to that question is he's got 4.1 in the bank.
There you go then. He's going to definitely upgrade someone. Like, I don't know, maybe they attack to something. Like maybe Lacazette or something. I don't know. Yeah, so that's a lot of money. There's a lot of money to hold. So there's plans. He knows what he's doing.
Yes,
somehow.
Before we finish this special off, Jason, what are people's thoughts? I mean, are there any questions for any of the four of us, especially Capin as our guest? I mean, that'd be interesting to hear.
So yeah, we've got a few people in. Son rested. Paul fan says question marks. No way without Kane, Son will play every game. It's an interesting way of looking at it. Good chance he will do. Wouldn't be surprised myself, but there's always that element of doubt. So we got Son taking penalties for Korea. It says Aria Hiroki could be taking penalties for Spurs. Eriksen you'd imagine he would have them. We got this whole thing about Eriksen captains at the moment. There's obviously a lot of people are deciding to put the armband on him. Yeah, so maybe could pay off. At the moment, I'm not sweating just yet, but I'm gonna have a very hairy second half. How do
you feel? How do you feel? Proper. How do you feel right now? That is 1-0.
I feel like I could realistically.
To Newcastle.
I feel that there's a good chance. Well, there's always a chance, but it's not outside the realms of possibility that I end up with 4 points for my captain, which will obviously you captaining Duffy. Would be would be better, yeah. So yeah, I'm a little bit. I'm not nervous yet. Give me 20-30 minutes and then ask me then. But yeah. So we got people saying Bournemouth are on the beach. Wilson, they're near the beach. They may be, they may not be. They may not be as up for it as normal. Palace defense is pretty much gone, says Ari Hirioki. What's Tesso saying here? They look like they're on holiday already. Best fixtures, poorest form. Again, I'm talking about Bournemouth, I'd imagine. So this is So this whole people. Brett Mollison saying, "Come on, Deeney." Obviously, you Dan having Deeney as well. There's a lot of people with Deeney. But yeah, I'm still in shock on Jack Gleason's team. Something really sinister's happened there. I can't think for a moment that'll be his decision to play those players. I think one of his mates has probably got his account or something and played around with it. But yeah,
maybe he didn't save.
Yeah,
click save. One of those ones.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he's been on holiday or something. Had 5 minutes, quickly sorted something out. Hasn't confirmed his transfers, or maybe only done one transfer under a wild card. And wow. Anyway. I think we're getting towards the end stages of the podcast now. I'm looking forward to the second half. I need to get myself a stiff cup of tea and enjoy this second half. Yeah.
Well, just one more question for Cappy. After all the videos we've been doing, after all this various swapping and changing, how are you actually feeling now? We've revealed various teams which are doing really, really well in various mini leagues and overall ranks. Me personally, I'm like, it's not so bad after all. How are you feeling now?
Oh, you revealing everyone else's teams and stuff like that?
Yeah, now you know that the majority of teams are virtually the same as ours.
Not fussed, to be honest with you. I'll be honest. It's because I do a lot of research on other people's teams as well. I kind of see what people might go for, because it's good to fail together and not just fail by yourself. So, but yeah, I got no problem. I think with my team, it's just pretty much trying to get like little templated team, but with 1 or 2 differentials on the sides, and if they pay off, then if I can hit that top 10k, then I pretty much achieved it. But yeah, like with your podcasters, just do what you need to do. Continue with this thing. I think is great. That's how I kind of found it. That's what I enjoy more, I guess. To be honest with you, I'm not really a fan of like maybe smaller videos. For me personally, it's not giving me the information that I need, but it will definitely give information what other people would need. So there is that. It's just what I enjoy. Yeah, just do it, man. Continue what you're doing. There's 3 of you combined, and you get more stuff out.
Yeah, a massive thank you to Capkin for coming on our podcast this evening. We've been trying to find a slot for him, and in his busy schedule as well, to get him on. And this is a really important part of the season, so it's great for you to be here with us. Really, like I said, Amazing,
Oh,
and it'll be a pleasure to have you on again in the future if you're free and available. By all means.
Yeah. I'll definitely join up, man. I'll definitely, if you ever need someone to join up, talk about some important stuff, just let me know. Message me. Anyone can message me.
Yeah.
I'm free, And then if I have a free time, I'm always up for it, man.
Excellent.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, by all means, I mean, I'm stating the obvious. I know your channel's ginormous, but if nobody does know your stuff, plug away. What's your Twitter? If you're on Instagram, that obviously your YouTube channel. By all means, just plug away, mate.
Yeah, just Capkin Gaming. Just follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter if you like. Just someone who just loves the game. Post my videos every week. Sorry, and just see if I can get that top 10k. But yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
Well,
you'll get that top 10k, man. Confident.
Yeah, I mean, I've got my bench boost.
Yeah.
And I do have my triple captain.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
there is hope for me. That'll be my first time into the top 10k, and I'll just basically will retire.
Walk up into the sunset.
We'll retire just like everyone. You can have all these subs now. Fuck off. So I can never swear.
It's all right, mate. It's not Big Brother. You can swear. It's fine.
We've been swearing a lot during this season. So fine. Guys, if you joined us in chat, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Capkin, once again, thanks for joining us. It's been fantastic to have you on. As ever, guys, always been a pleasure. Connect with us on Instagram and Twitter at Elite FPL. We do extra videos on there. Keep you up to date when we're going to be next live. So please do follow us on those social media platforms. But yeah, really enjoyed seeing you all tonight, and look forward to seeing you all again soon. And yeah, thanks a lot.
Cheers, guys. Bye now.
Cheers, Captain. Thank you.
No worries, man.
Hello there, welcome to our Elite FPL.
Yeah. Pun where Shaw's lights were knocked out. Dan, you may want to turn on your light because you're.
Chat said that Steve-O, if you bench Alonso and he returns, you have to get a history tattoo.
Well, people in chat saying, Jack, before we move on to the Elite FPL.
First of all, my name is Jack. Right, okay, I'm gonna let Dan speak because it seems to be mainly me. And go, Dan. Go ahead. What are you gonna do?
It's absolutely fascinating.
Jason, try and just stop.
Right. Okay. Right. I'm.